What's the most controversial title that I could use for this video? Okay, that'll work. How's it going, guys? And welcome back to yet another episode of The Theme Park Shark. I think this might actually be one of the first episodes where pretty much all of the footage was shot by myself. So, yeah, no copyright strikes here. Let's go. It's great to have you guys here. It's a very exciting day. Yesterday was the official unveiling of, let's say, technical rehearsals, which means it is a soft opening of Jurassic World the Ride at Universal Studios Hollywood. It was a very exciting day. We weren't really sure what was going to happen. A lot of commotion, a lot of hype. There was a lot of people waiting outside the entrance of the ride, but we didn't have confirmation. A few hours went by, and to everyone's surprise that was waiting outside of the entrance, we started to notice that Universal Studios was bringing in guests, but there was a catch here. You had to be a VIP guest with your VIP host. You couldn't just come up there with a VIP lanyard and say, hey, I want to ride this ride. You had to actually be escorted in there by your host, and it was usually in a group of about, I would say, anywhere from 6 to about 15 people, and this is when things started to get very interesting, and a lot of people around the entrance could tell that we might have been in for something special. Fast forward a few hours later, and we started to notice that employee previews were in full effect. This was going until 4 o'clock, and then it was extended until 5 o'clock, and then 6 o'clock, and finally it was extended until, I believe, 7. A few minutes later, at about 7:05 p.m., Jurassic World officially opened for technical rehearsals to the general public. If you're going to be visiting the park throughout the next few weeks, keep in mind that the ride can go up, it can go down, it can literally do anything that it wants to do until Universal gives an official release. And Universal's been really clear with that. They've put it on their Twitter, on their Facebook. I believe even it's on their actual official website now. So if you're going to the park with the intention to solely ride this ride, until the official opening date has actually been announced, don't be upset if you can't get on this ride. It's very possible you might not get on. So yeah, with all of that said, I actually did get to ride this ride. I was one of the first, I would say, 20 or 30 people that was led onto the ride from the general public. And I have a lot to talk to you guys about in terms of this ride, as I'm sure you can probably imagine. So let's do it. Let's do an official, full, comprehensive review of Jurassic World the Ride at Universal Studios Hollywood. To start things off, we have to begin with what begins this ride, and that's the ride queue. It's a very similar look to the old Jurassic Park queue. In my opinion, this was probably the biggest afterthought of the entire renovation. Basically, just imagine kind of large, in kind of the style of the tram downstairs, kind of massive, almost like poster boards that you kind of walk in between. That kind of highlight different dinosaurs and things going on throughout the Jurassic World theme park. And it's very similar to what you see in the tram queue, in my opinion. And other than that, I mean, they basically took out the old, I guess, boxy 90s TVs and upgraded them with, current generation flat screens. So you also get some upgraded inline footage that obviously goes on the new flat screens, and that's pretty much the entirety of the queue. They also got rid of what they call the little air gates right before you load up. Some people have mentioned that team members are probably very happy about that, because I guess people just didn't understand how those things worked or how to line up. So one less thing for team members to worry about. So let's get right, I guess, through with the queue and now head on to the ride. So together we are going to watch the entirety of my point of view ride experience. And this is just going to kind of be some commentary going over what I experienced and what I noticed during each portion of the ride. So first things first, you kind of get dropped into the little area here where it used to be the big grand reveal to all of the animatronics in the little lagoon, but now it's the Mosasaurus Aquarium, which is already kind of getting memed how the announcer introduces this dinosaur and how you guys come in here. So this is a very cool tank. In person, it's very grand. It's not as spectacular on video, but I mean, if you can just try to just put yourself in the shoes of someone that's actually in this boat right now, It's a super, super grand, like, and as much as you guys wanted to say the other reveal was grand, and I'm not going to take away from that other reveal because it's an all-time classic, but this one, it truly is grand. It's almost like the doors opened and you've stepped into the future. It truly feels like the next generation of a Jurassic Park ride. Now, unfortunately, that does mean screens, but in my opinion, just with the tech that they used, how cool they showed the Mosasaurus here, and just everything that went along with this portion of the ride, in my opinion, was actually pretty well done. Most of you guys are upset that we lost a lot of animatronics in this area, and I fully understand your guys' argument, because I don't necessarily agree with it in that specific section, but later on throughout the ride, the ride wasn't littered as many dinosaurs that you saw in the old Jurassic Park ride. You used to see dinosaurs fighting over the popcorn. You used to see the dinosaur eating up the boat with little Mickey Mouse ears floating in the water, and that was like a nice little treat. You felt like there was a dinosaur around every corner. You don't really get that same experience with this. Like, this is the first animatronic dinosaur that we've seen the entire ride, is right here up on the ledge. And in my opinion, this part of the ride got too much criticism. There's a lot of people in the comments on my point of view video saying, this part's very underwhelming. What did Universal do? This was a gift. This was Universal cutting a break to everybody that was going to miss the Jurassic Park ride. For anyone that doesn't like this middle scene and says, I want the Jurassic Park ride back, what is wrong with you? Because this is literally almost the exact same scene, and they gave us the old music. So this is like Universal said there's going to be too many people that are extremely nostalgic about the old ride. So we're going to leave the middle section extremely similar. I'm pretty sure the animatronics have more fluid movements. And for anyone that was going to complain that they missed the old ride, this was your segment. This was literally it. I almost teared up hearing the old theme coming in. They made it so beautiful. So for anyone that's complaining and says they missed the old ride, check yourself on that section. So coming in here, this is the normal, I guess, containment breach scene that, you know, is very similar from the other rides, the exact same storyline. And in my opinion, this is the kind of where things kind of got a little strange. So some of the theming in here almost looks too clean. I understand they're going for a more modern approach, but some of that rock work up there, some of the, I guess, the cement work up here coming the top where you see like the T-Rex scratch marks, it almost looks similar to like what they did with Kung Fu Panda, like almost too clean. So I don't know if that's just how Universal's going to be theming things into the future. This is the more modern approach to theming, but in my opinion, it's too clean, it's too perfect, it's too futuristic. Universal should get back to its roots in more of a like cinematic type of theming, because that's what a lot of people are complaining about, and I agree. This section right here is also kind of strange. I understand it's supposed to be a presentation at the Jurassic World theme park of these little dinosaurs on the side here, kind of entering this little area. But this used to be filled with raptors on the side that were spitting at you, and now it's missing that. So kind of a boring section of ride there for the last 30 seconds or so. Coming up this lift hill was fun. I don't have a lot of problem with this lift hill. The screens seem odd. Just kind of like, why is there screens on a lift hill, you know? But if this is supposed to be themed to maybe an area that is okay to go in normally, I honestly don't know the full storyline. So I'm not sure why there's screens here, but for the sake of the ride, let's not worry about it too much. And again, people complaining about that little raptor coming from the top, another gift from Universal to pay tribute to the original. So now we enter the portion of the ride that absolutely doesn't get its credit at all on video. You have to be there in person to see how grand the reveal is into this little forest area here. Very Aiken, very similar to what the feeling of almost entering on the Pirates of the Caribbean ride. That's how the theming truly feels inside this area now. It doesn't feel like some kind of poor just entrance where there's some dinosaurs hanging around. Like you feel like you're in the middle of some jungle and you're toast. Massive trees, massive foliage. I mean, you're seeing this right before your eyes. So a very grand area, and this blue here, right here, is absolutely spectacular. The movement on that blue, I wish I filmed it more, but it was my first ride through, and I just didn't know where to put my camera. Did I want to be on the Indominus? Did I want to be on the T-Rex? I had no clue. So a very interesting show scene right here that doesn't get the due credit it deserves on video whatsoever. And then right here, the normal plunge, exact same speed, exact same height as far as I'm in the know of, and from what I've been told. So yeah, that's the entire ride through. Now that it's done, I'm going to give you guys my overall thoughts on it. So, oh man, it's a tough one, guys. Is it better than Jurassic Park? I really think it might be, for a few reasons. I think the tank scene gets too much hate. Is there some things that Jurassic Park did better than World? Absolutely. I think the amount of animatronics were done better. A lot of people in my comments have already been complaining that I guess the Brachiosaurus is gone, not only in the movies now, but also in the ride. If they somehow threw that in somewhere, could have changed the entire landscape of the ride. In that little area where you go into the containment breach, where the old Jeep used to fall, if there was some sort of action there, which as far as we know may be coming in the future, could have changed the entire landscape of this ride. And I mean, it's the small things, guys, where it's like we're nitpicking at this point. It's like, wow, I wish there was this here, this there. But at the end of the day, how much can Universal, truly do? They had a 9-month refurb with the exact same track, essentially, with the exact same path, with the exact same boats. I mean, what did you guys want Universal to do? Because I keep an eye on my comments, and I see you guys are absolutely just going off. Universal Studios never promised you guys that we were going to rip up the ride, we're going to transform the land up there. Like, do you understand, like, how much work would truly have to be done, I guess, with, like, ground leveling and just everything that goes on top there? It's not a lot of space. The fact that ride is even there in general with the amount of room they're working with is phenomenal, to be honest. So for anyone that came into this expecting I guess a brand new ride or a brand new design or a brand new layout or whatever you guys were expecting, you either had bad information or your hopes may have been too high, because this is exactly, at least what we've talked about a few times here, not only on my Twitter but on the channel here, is this is exactly kind of what we were expecting from a 9-10 month refurb. And in my opinion, when you're only given 9 or 10 months and you have to stay with the same track layout, and you have to stay with the same boat, and you can only do so much within the same time frame, it's a good refurb. It's a really good refurb. And you guys can only, in my opinion, really understand and grasp that once you ride it in person and you enter that jungle scene. That jungle scene, and this is the ironic thing too, is people in my comments were like, take notes from Disney. Disney does things better, like all the normal like stuff, right? If you're there in person and you enter that scene, you feel like you're in a Disney ride. Like, the theming inside that jungle feels similar to what you would get inside of a Disney ride. Whether that's good to you or bad to you, up to you. But for the people in my comments that were saying, take notes from Disney would have did this ride justice, that was a very Disney-esque style of theming within that building. The second I landed, if you actually listen to my original point of view video, you can hear me go, wow! Wow! I was so amazed by just the scope and how large it felt from what it used to be. It didn't even feel like the same place. I looked up and I saw a massive tree to my left, and I looked to my right and I saw foliage and bushes, and then Blue sprinting across, and I was like, Blue is moving. How is that possible? So there was just a lot of things to wrap your head around being there in person and trying to look everywhere. So don't judge this ride off the point of view at all. Don't make your opinion solely based off the point of view. This is a ride that you have to ride. This is a ride that you have to be on. This is one you have to be on in person before making judgment. Some people are always going to just say the original is better, whether it's for sheer nostalgia factor or maybe just because it did seem to have more animatronics kind of littered throughout the ride, which is fine, and maybe Universal will take that, and maybe Universal will throw in some more animatronics here and there. But as someone who has actually already been on this ride and has been on many, many rides, from Gringotts to Forbidden Journey to Spider-Man to Pirates to Smuggler's Run, the amount of e-ticket attractions that I've been on is truly countless. And to come back here and tell you guys that I was kind of overwhelmed and surprised by the sheer amount that they did in a 9 to 10 month span should tell you guys from, I guess, a theme park enthusiast level and kind of understanding how construction goes and how this kind of thing goes, that Universal did really good, guys. This was not low tier. This was not low quality. It didn't feel like a lot of corners were cut. A lot of you guys are also arguing in the comments that the final show scene, the final fight, the final showdown between the Indominus Rex and the T-Rex is a little underwhelming. But for those of you that, I mean, we're expecting some sort of massive animatronic battle to the death, I mean, snap back to reality. Oh, there goes gravity. I mean, whatever Eminem would say to you guys, right? The only thing that I felt when writing it is when I read rumors that suggested that there would be a battle scene, I said, okay, maybe they'll throw some screen elements in here to kind of showcase a battle, and then we'll turn the corner, and then we'll kind of see the animatronics kind of living out that battle. However, animatronics can live it out, right? So I agree with you guys that the motion between the two T-Rexes didn't even seem like they were even acknowledging each other. It just seemed like one was kind of off in the to the side, kind of, I don't know, just having fun, roaring, and then the T-Rex decided to completely ignore him and just focus on us. So that wasn't really the storyline that we were pitched, following rumors and things like that. We all kind of thought the Indominus would be coming after us, and the T-Rex would be coming to our rescue. Very opposite of Jurassic Park and very similar to the first Jurassic World movie. So that wasn't the exact storyline that we got in the ride. But for what it is, very impressive animatronics, very impressive movement from Blue, actually just kind of sprinting around the ledge and showing some real movement for a Universal animatronic that we haven't really seen. Sure, we've seen it with Disney, but Universal, nice fluid movement on animatronic isn't always, it's kind of easier said than done. I think the best one that I had seen up until this point was probably Kong in Orlando. So I think this is the new one. This is the new best. From what I'm hearing from people that have been on Hagrid's, this is even better than the Hagrid animatronic. So that's very cool and very encouraging and a very welcome addition to Universal Studios Hollywood. Universal Studios Hollywood desperately needed this, guys. The bottom lot, for those of you that don't come here too often, for those of you guys that may be used to Universal Orlando or just what it may be, our bottom lot, the entire lot consists of 3 rides. It's the Mummy, Transformers, and Jurassic. And when Jurassic was down, it was just Transformers and the Mummy. So kind of a sparse layout on the bottom lot. So Jurassic getting a refurb was, I mean, it was kind of a godsend. It was needed. Universal recognized the need, and they went for it. So we were never promised a complete overhaul. I mean, we were never promised a completely new ride. We were promised a refurb, and Universal pulled through, gave us a really nice refurb, a really fun one, in my opinion. I'm giving Universal at least an 8.5 out of 10 on this ride. I mean, I really enjoyed this ride. I think it's the second best ride in the park behind Forbidden Journey. I think Forbidden Journey is a high mark. I think it's a hard one to beat. So the fact that I'm kind of talking about it in the same breath as Forbidden Journey should speak pretty highly to the ride, and hopefully if Universal is listening to this, they can hear how highly I am talking about this ride, because I truly do believe it is deserving of that praise. 3 of the top 4 rides in the park are now on the lower lot. So a lower lot that is kind of sparse, from, if that's the word you want to use, has now kind of become the destination location of the park, in my opinion. If you're coming to Universal Studios, the bottom lot kind of seems like the place to be. So still some construction going on in the bottom lot, so when that's done too, might be a lot of fun stuff on that bottom lot. So that's my full take on this ride. If you guys have any questions at all, or any things that you would like me to clarify that maybe weren't clarified completely over the course of this full comprehensive review, please put them in the comments, as I'll be looking and responding to each and every one of you guys. If you like this video, and if you've liked the content that we've been putting out over the course of Jurassic World the Ride opening, please feel free to subscribe, drop a like on this video, do all that good stuff, because we will be keeping content rolling to you guys very, very frequently from pretty much as many parks across the globe that we can get footage from. So very, very exciting stuff. A lot of exciting rides. People are calling this the golden age in theme parks. I kind of agree. I think it's a good time. So make sure to subscribe. And if you feel so inclined, please follow me on Twitter at ThemeParkDustin, or on Instagram at DustinSparagi. That's kind of my one-stop shop, curated location of all the content that I like to make. So would definitely appreciate your guys' follow on both. Yeah, thank you so much, guys, for stopping by. I really appreciate your views. I've really appreciated the support with the POV video and all the other Jurassic World videos I've been putting out. You guys have been super appreciative and super thankful for all the content that I've been bringing, and I think just, you know, the work that I've been putting in and things that You guys have been super appreciative of the videos that I've been bringing, and just seeing your guys' appreciation, those comments always is encouraging to keep making videos. So thank you guys so much. As always, I will see all of you guys in the next video. Oh, and side note, ISLA new bar is pronounced Isla new bar. Some of you will get it, some of you won't. All right, bye.